Hey guys, today we're going to cover topic 4.2, angles of triangles. Triangle angle sum theorem. That says that the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C all add up and equal 180. The exterior angle theorem says that an exterior angle is formed by extending any one side of the triangle. So the exterior angle is always equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So the sum of angle 2 and the sum of angle 3 will equal the sum of angle 1. Our job is to find some of the missing angles. So again, remember that all three angles added together equal 180 degrees. So if you add 24 and 37 together and subtract from 180 degrees, you get 119. Number 2, so we have an exterior angle that's outside the triangle. Therefore, if you add the two non-adjacent angles inside the triangle, okay, that equals the measure of angle 1. So we get 128 degrees. On number 3, it already gave us the exterior angle. It told us it's 104, so we're going to have to work backwards. So all you have to do now is subtract the 79 from 104, and you get 25 degrees. On number 4, we can try to picture this splitting up the triangles. So if I just look at this triangle here on the left, then I know that the sum of the angles is 180, so I can find angle 1 by adding 66 and 84 together and subtracting from 180, and I get 30 degrees. Now to find angle 3, if you remember when we've worked with linear pairs, okay, two angles that are next to each other, okay, that have a straight line between them, add up and equal 180. So these two angles here are a linear pair. So if I take 180 and subtract 84, I get angle 3, which is 96 degrees. Now I'm just going to focus on the triangle on the right. So again, every time you know two angles, you can just add them up, subtract from 180, and you get the third angle. Okay, so if we add 96 and 43, subtract that from 180 degrees, we get 41 degrees. So here we can try to find angle 2 or angle 1. It doesn't matter. If I try to find angle 2 first, okay, same thing that we talked about earlier, a linear pair. So these two angles together make 180 degrees. So if I do 180, take away 43, I get angle 2, okay, which gives you 137 degrees. To find angle 1, I'm just going to focus on that smaller triangle on the left. Okay, we have two of the angles. I know that this angle is 90 degrees. This one is 43, therefore I can add those together, subtract from 180, and I get angle 1, which gives me 47 degrees. Now to find angle 3, I'm going to focus on the smaller triangle on the right. I 137 degrees, and I know this smaller angle is 12 degrees. So again, every time you have two angles, you can find the third one. Add those two together, subtract from 180, okay, and we get 31 degrees for angle 3. For number 6, the first thing we can find is angle 2 or 1. It really doesn't matter. But I can find angle 2 based off of my previous knowledge of vertical angles. Vertical angles are when two lines intersect. They're the ones opposite from each other. Okay, we can also call them the kissing angles. So they're exactly the same. Therefore, if this is 61 degrees, angle 2 is 61 degrees as well. To find angle 1, add 61 and 68 together, subtract from 180, and you get 51 degrees. To find angle 3, I would add my 90 degrees, my 61 degrees, subtract from 180, and I get 29 degrees. Number 7 says that segment BC bisects angle ACD. Angle ACD is 90 degrees. So if BC is bisecting it, that means it's cutting right through the middle, which makes angle 2 and angle 3 both 45 degrees. Now I can find angle 4 because I have two of the angles. So 45 plus 83, take away from 180, and that gives you angle 4. You get 52 degrees. And same thing for angle 1. I have 48 degrees plus 45 degrees, subtract that from 180, and you get 87 degrees. So for number 8, we can find angle 1 by adding 75, 41, take away from 180. So again, by now you should pretty much understand that in a triangle, when you have two of the angles, you can always find the third one. You get 64 degrees for angle. I can find angle 3 the exact same way by adding 90 and 54, take away from 180, and I get 36 degrees. And every time you can form a straight angle, that straight line, that's 180. Therefore, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus the 90 degrees, the whole thing is 180. So if you add 90 degrees plus the 64 degrees, take away from 180, you can find angle 2, which gives you 26 degrees. Number 9 says that line L is parallel to line M. Okay, if two lines are parallel, then that means I have a transversal that can cut through it. So we've actually already covered transversals, right? And I remember showing you the shortcut. So whenever you have two lines that are parallel, you can always form a Z. So if you notice, I have this Z, and those angles that are opposite to each other in that Z are exactly the same. Therefore, angle 1 is also 73 degrees. I also have another Z that's flipped, so therefore angle 4 is 49 degrees. And 4 and 5 make a linear pair. So if I do 180, take away 49, I get 131. Same thing to find angle 3. I know that 73 and angle 3 make 180. So angle 3 is 107. And I realized that I put 73 in the wrong spot. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. To find angle 2, there's two ways we can look at this, but we can really just focus on the triangle, right? Again, all the angles add up to 180. So if I add 73 plus 49, subtract from 180, I get angle 2, which is 58. On number 10, I can find angle 6. The whole angle is 90 degrees, so if I subtract 52, I get angle 6. I can also find angle 4 because 86 degrees and angle 4 make 180 together, so I can do 180 minus 86. So we have a rectangle here. That means that we have parallel lines. If we have parallel lines, that means that I can form my Z. So if you notice, angle 2 is actually 52 degrees. So now I know that angle 3 has to be 38 degrees. I can also find angle 1 because I can add 52 plus 94 to find angle 1 if I subtract that from 180, and I get 34 degrees. And lastly, to find angle 5, again, I know that those two angles make 90 degrees. So if I do 90 minus 34, I get angle 5. On number 11, we have parallel lines, so we can form our Z. So angle 7 is 47 degrees. Angle 2 is vertical to 71 degrees, therefore it's also 71. And angle 3 forms a linear pair with 71 degrees, so if I do 180 minus 71, I get angle 3. And angle 5 is vertical to angle 3, so if we got 109 for angle 3, angle 5 is also 109. And to find angle 1, I can just look at the triangle. So add 47 and 71, take that away from 180, and I get 62 degrees. I can find angle 6 the same way. So just add 109 plus 42, subtract that from 180. We have another Z here with angle 1 and angle 8. So we already found angle 1 at 62 degrees, therefore 8 is the same. All right, for number 12, I need to find x. Therefore, because this is a triangle, I know that all the angles added together equal 180. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take x plus 2 plus x plus 10 plus 9x minus 8, set it equal to 180. And now I'm just solving for x. And I get x equals 16. For number 13, I'm going to use the theorem that we learned. Okay, to find the exterior angle outside the triangle, I'm going to add the two interior non-adjacent ones. So I'm going to add 11x minus 2 plus 9x plus 1 and set that equal to 19x plus 3. And I'm just solving for x now. Remember that when you have x's on both sides of the equal sign, move them over to one side. So I'm going to subtract 19x to the left side. and I get x equals 4. For number 14, we need to find the values of x and y. So if you notice, you might be looking at this triangle on the left side here and think that you can add these all up and set it equal to 180. You have the right idea, but you can't do that because one of these has a y and one has an x. You can't add an x and a y in the same equation. So I'm going to have to use the other smaller triangle, okay? I know that one of the angles is 72, one of them is 6x minus 2, and this angle is vertical to this one. So if we have 11x minus 9 on this side, okay, we can say that this is also 11x minus 9. So we can add all these three together now and set it equal to 180. And you get x is 7. Now you can plug the 7 in to find what angle this would be here. Okay, so 11 times 7 minus 9. You get 68 degrees. So now we can find our y by adding these two together and subtracting from 180 to get the missing angle here. So we get 82 degrees. So now to find my y, I can do 5y minus 8 equals 82. So I get y is 18. I realized that there was no volume. So what I was saying earlier is if it makes a C shape, okay, then it's supplementary. It makes 180 degrees. So what we did is we added all three things up, and now we're just solving for x. So I get x is 13. And then to find your y, you would just plug in your x. And same thing, I'm going to do this in green here. Here we have another c. So you would add those two together, subtract from 180, and you can find y. When you solve for y, you should get y equals 24. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.